I've been trying. I've really been trying. It's time for us to have a little bit of vindication while also having a very annoying conversation. It's time to start a dialogue. We're 9 games into the season, and I don't think our starting quarterback has looked good in a single one of them. Once we've gotten into ACC play, it seems like it's only gotten worse with every single game. And the rumble, like there are boos now actively in the stadium. Coach Brohm's getting asked about it at press conferences. Shout out friend of the show, Matt McGavick, asking Coach Brohm pretty directly about it today. Is it time to bench Miller Moss?
It's impossible, to defend really at this point, Keith. Not impossible, but just hard to defend. We point out, I'll probably have a play in here where he has a good ball, but it's also because Colin Lacey made it a good route. But it's it's just hard to defend with just how consistent the poor play has been. The not being able to maneuver in a pocket, the
not being able to throw outside the hashes.
Which also combines with the arm strength. It's just not there. The mobility is not there. That it seemed like I'll show a play in the game notes where it's even the want to, when you're running to go get a first down, didn't seem like it was there. It's frustrating to see from a team that's really just missing one key component piece. And that's the quarterback.
That's the part that drives me the most nuts. It's this team has some dudes. Yes, the O-line, suspect to start the year. And maybe that was an excuse. But the O-line, especially the last, ever since Trevante Sylvester has come back, it's gone from being serviceable to actually developing and getting pretty good. For the second year in a row, we've had a slow start, and then we install Trevante, and things just magically get significantly better. There was no excuse. And you talk about the want to, and I know exactly what run play you're talking about, where all he has to do is cut up field, and he gets a first down and probably another 6-7 yards. Shout out to the 12-year-olds out there.
Or just lower the shoulder and sprint. Lower your shoulder and sprint to get the first down at the same angle you're going at. You can stick your foot in the ground and get north and south, like you said, but I was more disappointed at the fact that it seemed like he slowed down whenever he was getting ready to get hit.
Yeah. And it's led to the offense just being, I don't know if it's neutering the playbook to try and account for his weaknesses or if he just has an inability to execute. But it's led to some pretty damning offensive stats. Again, guy who I frequently reference, and a lot of Louisville Twitter has pulled him up and discovered him at this point, at Stats of War. Parker Fleming's his name. He comes out with a lot of good information. And one thing he's been tracking is efficiency on offense. So essentially, efficiency EPA is how often does your offense create successful plays? How well do you move the ball and stay on schedule? And we were the biggest detractors of Miller Moss coming in. And even we were still he should be able to keep us on schedule. He hasn't been able to do that. So I decided to go through and pick. There's a bunch of teams I could have picked from, but I picked from a few of teams that we have a significantly.
If your Twitter was any indication of where you're going with this, there's going to be a lot of people that don't like this.
Oh yeah. Well, we have a worse offensive efficiency than Florida State, who's been comically bad this year. We have a worse offensive efficiency than Nebraska, a team who people actively mocked for extending their coach. Speaking of coaches, we have a worse offensive efficiency than Penn State, who doesn't have a head coach right now. Another team, gets made fun of for their offensive ineptitude. We have a worse offensive efficiency than Iowa. And the most damning one of all, we have a significantly worse offensive efficiency rate than Cincinnati. The offense has just been bad all year. It's been either explosive plays or 3 and outs, it feels like, every single time we have the ball. There is no extended, lengthy drive that ends in a touchdown. We might get 1 or 2 first downs, and thank God we have Cooper Ranvier and Nick Keller, because they're basically as close to a sure thing as you can get. But it's like the sense of supreme confidence that I have when Cooper Ranvier goes to kick a ball, take that and just make it the polar opposite feeling. That's how I feel when we're on offense now. That's the confidence I have in Moss. Like there is
You can't
none.
run a drop back pass. You can't run a drop back pass, Keith, and it's not because of poor offensive line play at this point, man. Like we saw it all game on Saturday where it's him maneuvering around in the pocket. I mean, there was maybe one of those sacks where you could put it on the offensive line, but I mean, the rest were him not being able to move around. You go to the play right before the half, or no, was it the last play regulation, the Hail Mary? Yeah, it was the last play.
Yeah.
Last play. In
No,
regulation.
that was before. I think that was before. No, it was regulation. Yeah, because they shanked the punt. We got the ball at the 50-yard line and couldn't move it.
Exactly. Exactly. We couldn't move it an inch. And it's like, oh my gosh, the Hail Mary just, it sent me, not that we would have got it. You don't know if we would have got it, if the ball would have made it all the way down there or not. But damn it, I want a shot. I want a chance at least, man. Like step up in the pocket and just deliver a ball downfield.
I don't mean this to be mean. Can Miller Moss throw a ball 50 yards? Like, I'm not trying to, I don't think he has the arm strength to get it there.
I don't think so.
Like,
and it's not just that one, man. I sent a picture to my dad, and it's like, how many people are in front of him right here? Right here. I want you to count. It's like literally three receivers right in front of him, and we're taking a sack.
And it was actually kind of funny. Roman, friend of the show, Roman Kelly, contributor to Starting 502 and also on Big X Sports Radio, friend of the show, Mike Rutherford. He said on their program today, he's like, I would have rather sent Nick Keller out there to try and attempt the 67-yarder than a Hail Mary from Miller Moss. Like, I think that has a higher success rate, which isn't good, but
yeah, that's not good, but I'm not going to sit here and argue with him at this point because I'm not confident he can make that throw.
So the other damning stat, just to really hammer home how bad our offense has been. Louisville, surprisingly, has a +2 turnover margin on the season. And I say surprisingly because Miller Moss has 7 interceptions and I believe 2 or 3 fumbles lost as well. And that's just accounting for him, not counting the Isaac Brown fumbles or other miscellaneous turnovers that we have.
Right.
And when it comes to points off of turnover, we have a negative points off turnover margin. So we've given up more points off of turnovers than we've scored, despite having more turnovers than turnovers we've given up, and 16 more points. It's not like a field goal difference. Over 2 touchdowns of difference in points off of turnovers that we're surrendering in games. It's a miracle we're 7-2 watching this team. It's a miracle.
It's a testament to how good the defense is.
The defense has been phenomenal.
It's just the truest statement ever of defense wins championships, offense sells tickets, man. I mean, like, if we just had a halfway decent offense right now, how good would this football team be?
If we had a halfway decent starting quarterback, we'd be 9-0.
Yeah. I mean, think about what Tyler would be doing in this offense, man.
God, I don't want to because it makes me sad. God. I mean, I wouldn't go this far because Chris Bell, like, he made himself a lot of money with that Miami game, but he's definitely not doing him any favors. He's made Colin Lacey's path to the league significantly more difficult. So, and you talk about offense sells tickets. Like, if you'd asked me preseason, I thought Clemson game was going to be a surefire, get the sold out tweet on Monday, the day before the game. Part of that is Clemson hasn't fulfilled their bargain. They've been disappointing this year. But still, it's a name brand team. And if we were not coming off what was a wet fart of a loss to Cal, then maybe people would still be excited and we might not sell out, but we'd get close. Like, I feel like we're going to get the announced season ticket holders plus maybe 2,000 to 4,000, depending on however many Clemson fans show up. And like, I was talking about it.
It'll be dependent on tomorrow. And my opinion on that is tomorrow, because I think if we lose tomorrow, everybody's going to want to do something happy. And then at the same time, I don't know.
I don't see it. It's too easy to make excuses at this point. You
I know.
gave
That's what I was going through in my head was all the 10 excuses I could think of why people wouldn't show up to the game.
you gave the casuals, and obviously if you're tuned in watching this, you're not going to be classified as a casual. Otherwise, we'd have a lot higher view counts and a lot higher. So, you gave the casuals a reason with that Cal game. It wasn't a massive crowd, but it was a damn good crowd. Like, they got loud when they needed to. I would like the crowd to get loud earlier. And I don't mean that like earlier in the game, we were loud all game, but like, let's get loud while the other team's in the huddle. Let's not wait until they're breaking the huddle and on the line of scrimmage before we turn the volume up.
It was so good to not hear, but see some of the false starts, and the crowd noise definitely bothering the Cal offense. That was cool to see.
And it was refreshing. Like, one of the few good things I took away during my rewatch was like, oh, it's as loud on the broadcast as it felt in person, because it felt like we got bumping there. So
yeah, it sounded good for sure.
It's frustrating because you cave the casuals and out, and like, at this point, I don't even think we sell out the Kentucky game unless something exciting happens. So, but to dismount on this topic, I think it's fair to say that our offense has been significantly adjusted to try and account for Miller Moss's inefficiencies.
Yeah.
Now, one of the primary arguments you would argue for not starting a redshirt freshman quarterback, or even is, hey, maybe lack of knowledge in the playbook. We'd have to neuter the playbook in order to get him out there on the field.
It's already neutered.
If you're going to have to neuter the playbook one way or another, it just makes sense to me to put in the player with the highest ceiling. Now, I know who I think that player is, but, I don't care if you think it's Miller Moss, if you think he's the highest ceiling player, then fine, trot him out. If you think it's Brady Allen, big frame, big arm, okay, trot him out. If you think it's Deuce Adams, big arm, mobile runner, can make plays, trot him out there. If it's Mason Mims, freshman phenom, who knows, trot him out there. It doesn't make sense, if you're going to have to neuter the playbook regardless, not to play who's going to give you your highest ceiling, especially now that ACC championship hopes and playoff hopes aren't dead, but they're on life support, and that doctor's hand's hovering over the outlet. Like, we need a lot of help.
100%. I definitely would lean more towards the dynamic redshirt freshman that, there are so many plays that you saw throughout that game where you're like, okay, here's a hole here, here's a hole here. Like, if he didn't hit his check down, at least if he was looking to run the football, with conviction, we would be gaining yards, and I think Deuce gives us that best opportunity. I don't know how Jeff would do it. I don't know if he would do it, the pull the leash, or if he would start Deuce. I lean more towards the leash getting pulled.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. Matt McGavick asked Coach Brohm about it today, and he gave a very coach speak answer. And look, Jeff Brohm's a professional. He's not going to body bag a kid in public, in the media.
Right.
But if you read into his answer, and I don't have the verbatim right in front of me, it sounds like essentially he's on thin ice. And I wouldn't be shocked if he plays like dog shit to start the Clemson game and the Boo Birds start getting loud, if we see a change. And also,
I think especially if the defense is playing well too, Keith, like if it's, defense is causing punts, maybe Clemson only has 3 points going into the second quarter type deal, and we have nothing. Like, I 100% see a world where he gets pulled.
Also, Deuce Adams from Texas. I think his high school is only like 2.5, 3 hours away from SMU. Be kind of cool for him to get his first start down there, and you and Jacob being there to see it. Just saying, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
But
that would be cool.
Ideally, Miller Moss looks like a completely different human being, comes out, lights the world on fire. Because the kid cares. He cares. I would like for him to succeed. But I'm also someone who deals in logic, and he's presented no evidence that he can perform at the level that the team consistently needs him to perform at. So we'll see what happens, but it's gotten to a point where we can't ignore the conversation.